Hello, my dear students. How are you doing? I hope you have a nice time. Today I will explain a new chapter with a new concept which speaks about hormones. Hormonal coordination in living organisms. At the beginning, what's meant by hormones? Hormones, it is a chemical substance synthesized and produced inside the living organism body. What is its function? What the function of hormones? Why the body synthesized or produce hormones? Hormone stimulate or inhibit the function of other organ or other gland. Now let's study the hormonal coordination in living organisms. Hormonal coordination in living organisms. At the beginning, we will study the hormones in plants or auxins in plants. In 1913, Pison-Jensen was the first scientist who referred or discovered auxins, plant hormones, and they explained the role in phototropism in plant stem. Phototropism, you studied it in the last year. You studied last year all tropism in plants. Okay. He proved that the tip of stems, calybutyl, secretes a chemical substance which is indole acetic acid, which is transmitted from the tip of plant stem to the corresponding or responding site, causing its bend. Okay, what is the auxins? Let's see this video. Auxins secreted from the tip or calybutyls cause elongation of the cell or stimulate its growth. So the auxin stimulate the growth of living cell. But more auxins in the stem stimulate more growth. More auxins in the root inhibit the growth. Okay, let's complete the video. This is the cell with auxins elongate more than the cell without auxins. Auxins, when the light from distribute evenly, the auxins distribute evenly also. But when the light comes from one side, the auxins escape from the light to the dark side. So the dark side has more auxins, it elongates more than the side in facing the light, okay? Now, the light comes from one side, so the auxins escaped to the dark side. Cells in the dark side grow longer, so the stem bend toward the light, as you see here. Auxins escape from these cells to the cells in the darker sides. So the cells in the darker sides have more auxins, more elongated, so the stem bend toward the light, which we say positive phototropism. Okay. Again, when the sunlight overhead the stem, auxins get distributed evenly in all sides. So the stem grow upright without any bending. But when the sunlight hits from one side, auxins move from to a shaded area or darkened area or low intensity of light. So this side with more auxins in the stem elongate longer or more elongation. Okay. What is the function of auxins? It affects the plant growth, as we see in the stem, by activation or inhibition. Inhibition in the root, activation in the stem. Also, auxins organize the development of tissues and their differentiation into stems, leaves, and roots. Also, auxins control the time of flower blooming, leaves falling, fruits formation, and their ripeness. Okay, remember that gelatin. Do you remember the experiment in the last year while Pison-Jensen cutting the calybutyl tips and bought gelatin, then bought the calybutyl again on gelatin? He proved that the gelatin is permeable to auxins, while mica sheet, when he made this same experiment with mica sheet, it is impermeable for auxins. Okay, now we will study the hormones in animals. Okay. Hormones in animals is more complicated. Before studying it, I would like to remember, hormones is a chemical substance synthesized in human body. Endocrine system is more complicated in human. How many glands we have? How many glands we have? We have a large number of glands. How many types of glands we have? We have 3 types. Okay, so we have a large number of glands in our bodies, but we have only 3 types of glands: endocrine glands, exocrine glands, mixed glands. What is the difference between them? Exocrine gland or exocrine glands secrete enzymes through ducts, then to the organ or whatever its function, while endocrine glands secrete hormones directly to the blood without any ducts. Mixed glands, what is the mixed glands? Mixed glands, it is a mix between endocrine and exocrine glands. Okay, let's see here. Who discovered the animal hormones? Claude Berner discovered or considered that the stored sugar inside the liver is internal secretion, which is glycogen. Claude Berner considered glycogen, which is stored sugar inside the liver, is internal secretion, and the bile is external secretion. Then Starling found that the pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice directly after the arrival of food from the stomach to the duodenum. After the arrival of food from the stomach to the duodenum, the pancreas secretes the pancreatic juice directly. He discovered also that the mucous membrane that line the duodenum secrete a certain substance which pass to the bloodstream. Certain substance, they are hormones, which pass to the bloodstream till reaching the pancreas, stimulating it to secrete its pancreatic juice. So he named this chemical substance by hormones. There are 3 types of glands inside the human body, as I said. Now, there are exocrine glands. Look here to this picture. This is the secretory parts, and this is the duct where the secretory parts or secretory cells put their secretion in this duct. Glands with external secretion that contain secretory parts in addition to ducts or a system of ducts which carry their secretions either inside the body, such as salivary glands and most of digestive glands, or outside the body, such as sweet glands, okay, which take sweets outside the body. Then the second type of glands is endocrine glands, such as here. This is the endocrine gland secreted directly into the blood, secrete its hormones directly into the blood. Ductless glands doesn't have gland with internal secretion directly into the bloodstreams. From the most important examples, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, and this chapter is about endocrine gland and the mixed gland. Okay, mixed gland, the most famous example is testes and pancreas. There are glands that gather between exocrine gland and endocrine gland, where they consist of a ductal glandular part and another ductless glandular parts. From the most important example is pancreas and testes. Okay. We will study the first system, and the only system in this chapter is endocrine system, because we speak about hormonal coordination, and hormonal coordination related to endocrine system. What's meaning of endocrine system? It is the second system that controls the body function beside the nervous system. What's meaning of that? Meaning that all activities in our bodies are under the control of 2 systems, nervous system and endocrine system. Okay. So the different body functions are under the nervous and the hormonal control. Nervous system, you studied it in the last year, and today we are going to study the hormonal control, hormonal coordination, or endocrine system. Okay. What is the endocrine glands? As we said, they are ductless gland with internal secretion that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstreams. What are the hormones? What is meant by hormones? They are organic chemical substances secreted from endocrine glands directly into the blood to transport them to other organ or gland. Characters of hormones. Some are made of complex proteins, but others are made of simple compounds such as amino acids. Also, others made of steroids. So we have many types of the material making hormones. Some made of protein, some made of simple amino acids, other made of steroids, which is a type of complex lipids as you studied in the secondary one. Hormones secreted in a very small amount, 1 per 1,000 milligram. Any increase or decrease in the amount of hormone leads to disturbance in the function, malfunction, which cause a disease, depend on this age or amount of increase or decrease. Also, most of hormonal effects are in form of stimulation or activation organs or other glands. So hormone, we can consider hormone as a positive catalyst which stimulate other organs. Positive catalyst stimulate reaction, while hormone stimulate organ or other glands. Okay, hormones are specific. What's the meaning of hormones are specific? Do you remember what you studied in the secondary one about enzymes? We said in secondary one that each enzyme has a specific or one type of reaction to stimulate it. Also hormones, each hormone affects certain cells, which called target cells. So hormones are specific because each hormone has a certain cells to affect it, stimulate it, called target cells, which contain hormone receptors. Maybe external, maybe internal. Let's see if it is external, such as what? External meaning on the surface, as the receptors of proteins present on the surface of the cell, such as the receptors of insulin hormone. If it is internal, inside the cell, as the receptors of steroid hormones, such as the receptors of estrogen hormone. Okay, this is the most main endocrine glands, such as pituitary gland, which is the master or master gland present in brain. Thyroid gland on the neck, this is the frontal view of thyroid gland, and this is the dorsal view of thyroid gland to appear the parathyroid glands. Also, there is adrenal or suprarenal glands on the kidney. This is the testis in male and ovary in female. Okay. We will study the first endocrine gland, which is pituitary gland. Pituitary gland consists of two main lobes, okay? Because there is third lobe, which is median or intermediate lobe. Pituitary gland is hypophysis gland. This part called hypothalamus, okay? Pituitary gland, two lobes present in the brain. This is the posterior lobe, and this is the anterior lobe, and this one is the intermediate lobe. Posterior lobe has another name, is neurohypophysis. And this is infundibular pituitary stalk. This is the hypothalamus, which is dark in the last picture. This is the anterior lobe, adenohypophysis. Okay, and this is intermediate lobe. But the main lobes is anterior lobe and the posterior lobe. Okay. What are the hormones of each lobes? Anterior pituitary hormones, and simplified their function: adrenocorticotrophic hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, growth hormone, prolactin. Oh, it secretes a large number of hormones. Most of them activate another glands. Okay, this is the hormones of posterior pituitary hormones and nerves or neurons attached with it. Oxytocin hormones, which have a role in delivery and breastfeeding. Vasopressin, it has a role to control the blood pressure. Okay. So, pituitary gland considered master gland or maestro because it controls endocrine system through the hormones that are secreted from it. As we see It secretes a large number of hormones. Most of them activate the function of other organs or other glands. So it affects all other endocrine systems and affects the secretion of most other endocrine glands, as I said. Okay. This is the pituitary gland again. Consists of two main lobes below the hypothalamus in the brain. You studied the hypothalamus last year. Okay. Let's again, what are the hormones of adenohypophysis? The first one is growth hormone, GH. What are the growth hormone? It hormones secreted from adenohypophysis parts stimulate and control the metabolism, especially protein synthesis. So it controls the physical growth of the body, muscles, such as muscles, but it controls all other muscles, bones, whatever. The hypersecretion meaning more hormone than normal, or hyposecretion meaning less hormone than normal. Of this hormone causes medical case. What's meaning of medical case? Medical case meaning disease that depend on the age at which the disturbance occur. All disease or most disease depend on the age at which the disturbance occur. Okay, if the gland secrete more growth hormone during childhood, it causes gigantism. If gland secrete less hormones during childhood, it causes dwarfism, as you see here in these pictures. This is the normal person, this is the length of normal person, and this is the length of the person suffer from gigantism, and this is the length of person suffer from dwarfism. This one has normal amount of growth hormone. This one has more than normal amount of growth hormones, while this one has less amount than growth hormones, less amount of growth hormones. Okay, in adults, hypersecretion causes acromegaly. What we said here, this picture talks about increase or decrease in growth hormone in childhood, but now we will study the increase of growth hormone in adults. Hypersecretion causes acromegaly. What is acromegaly case? It is characterized by continuity of growth of long bones such as hands, feet, fingers, and enlargement of face bones. We have a famous person here in Egypt suffer from acromegaly. Okay, this is the acromegaly. This the face of normal person, and this the face of person suffer from acromegaly. The bone of face elongated, the bone of hand elongated. This is the normal bone, this is the bone for a person suffer from acromegaly. This is the face of person suffering from acromegaly, elongated bones. Okay. The second hormone secreted from adenotropic hormone, adenohypophysis hormone, is pituitary tropic hormones, and they are group of hormones. It is not one hormone, they are a group of hormones. Group of hormones affect the activity of some other glands, such as thyroid stimulating hormone, TSH, which stimulate the thyroid gland to secrete thyroxine hormone and calcitonin hormone also. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, it is a long name, adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, which stimulate, do you notice? Stimulate all the time. Adrenocorticotropic hormone stimulate the adrenal gland cortex to secrete its hormones. Prolactin hormone also stimulate the milk production in the mammary glands during the breastfeeding, okay? Gonadotropic hormones affect the function of gonads, ovaries in female and testes in males, which include the following hormones. Okay, this is very important part. Hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, FSH. Let's see what is the function of this hormone in female and in male. In female, it stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles and their conversion into Graafian follicle. In male, it helps in the formation of seminiferous tubules and spermatozoa, sperms in the testes. So, follicle stimulating hormone very important for sexual maturity in female or male. Okay, now we will study the second hormone, which is second gonads hormone, which is luteinizing hormone, LH. In female, it stimulates the formation of corpus luteum. In male, it's responsible for the formation of interstitial cells in testes. It is very important, and you will study it in the reproduction chapter. Stimulating also the interstitial cells to secrete male sex hormones, testosterone and androsterone. Okay, so follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone are important for the individual sexual maturity. If there is a deficiency in each one of them, the sexual maturity will be late or will not occur. Now we will study the hormones of neurohypophysis part of the pituitary gland. They are secreted from the nerve cell that are present in the hypothalamus regions of brain, which are called neurosecretory cells. Okay, so we called it neurohormones. Neurosecretory cells, this one, anterior lobe, adenohypophysis hormones, posterior lobes, neurohypophysis hormones, and this one is neurosecretory cells secrete in the hypothalamus. They include the following hormones: antidiuretic hormone, ADH, or vasopressin hormone, VH. What the difference between them? There is no difference. The two names for the same hormone. Okay? What is the function of this hormone, which has two names? It decreases the amount of urine through the reabsorption of water from the kidney nephrons to the blood. Again, it decreases the amount of urine, so it increases the osmolarity of urine through the reabsorption of water from the kidney nephrons to the blood. Also, it has a role in increase the blood pressure. Okay, the second hormone is oxytocin hormone. What the meaning of oxytocin hormone? It is a uterine muscle stimulating hormone. As you see from the name, uterine muscle stimulating hormone, so it's secreted during delivery when the baby will come to the life. Okay, gynecologists usually use this hormone to accelerate the birth as it increase uterine contraction, so it affect the non-glandular structure. الهرمون ده يا ولاد بياخدوه الدكاترة بيدوه للمريضة اللي بتولد كطلق صناعي عشان يسرع عملية الولادة عندها ويحفز الرحم عشان يسرع عملية الولادة. So it affect non-glandular structure, so it affect the muscle of uterine. Muscle of uterine is non-glandular structure. Okay. Also, oxytocin hormone stimulate the release of milk from mammary gland after the delivery process. So we have two hormones. Pay attention here, we have two hormones affect the milk production, prolactin and oxytocin hormone. Prolactin affect the milk production during the 2 years after delivery. Oxytocin hormone affect the milk production just after delivery. Just after delivery, the period after delivery, oxytocin work. After delivery, up to 2 years, prolactin work. Okay, let's come again. It stimulates the release of milk from the mammary glands after the delivery process. So it affects the glandular structure. Now, oxytocin affects two organs. One organ, which is a muscle, and the other organ is glands, which is a mammary glands. Okay, that is a very important point. From the previous, we can summarize the hormones of pituitary gland in the following diagram. Anterior lobe secrete growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotrophic hormone, prolactin, while and follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, which are called gonads hormones, while the posterior parts secrete oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin hormone. Okay. The second endocrine glands is thyroid glands, activity glands. Why we said it is activity gland? Because it has a main role in metabolism. And as you studied before, we take energy from metabolism process. Okay. This is the thyroid gland, lie at the anterior part of the neck and in a close contact with the trachea. It has a close, this is the trachea, which is the gray one, and the red one is the thyroid gland. Okay, it has two loops connected by a median part. Okay. The function of thyroid gland secrete two main important hormones, which are thyroid gland secrete thyroxine hormone, which composed of iodine and protein. Protein synthesized from the body, while iodine we take it from food, air, water. So thyroxine hormone has iodine element in its structure, and iodine element is essential for its formation. If iodine element not found in my food, so the thyroxine hormone will be decreased in my body, will be decreased, or its percentage, its concentration will be decreased. It performs many functions in the body. What is the importance of thyroxine hormone? It affects and stimulates the physical and mental growth. Oh, why? Because it stimulates and control and affect the basal metabolic rate. And my body get energy from metabolism, so it affects the physical growth. And my brain get energy also from metabolism, so it affects mental growth. Okay. It stimulates the absorption of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, I mean monosaccharides, because the complex carbohydrates not found in the blood. So thyroxine hormone stimulates the absorption of carbohydrates in blood, which is monosaccharides, from the digestive canal. Absorb them from the digestive canal to the blood. It maintains the health of skin and the hair. This is the thyroxine hormone. What is the calcitonin hormone? It is the second hormone secreted by thyroid gland and has a main role, as you see here from its name, has a main role in regulating the calcium level. It works on decreasing the calcium level in blood and prevent its withdrawal from the bones. So calcitonin hormone decrease calcium level. Calcitonin hormone decrease calcium level. Keep it. Calcitonin decrease. Calcitonin decrease calcium level in blood, prevent its withdrawal from bones. We will complete all parts related to thyroid gland in the next session. See you later. Goodbye.